Hello world, Stym here. I'm just chilling with some friends here on my server. Hello friends. Hello. How are you today? On this fine, beautiful day. And I wanted to apologize for my lengthy absence on YouTube. And most of all, I blame FTB for that. Well, you know what it's like, right? It just sucks you in like that and there's no way out. You just keep playing. You just keep playing and playing and playing and playing and playing. So that's what happened to me. This is my base right here, by the way, and as you have probably figured out by now, this is not a regular server, this is my FTB server. This view is pretty, isn't it pretty? It is pretty, isn't it? I had my reasons to make my base here. So, the purpose of this video is to show off some of this stuff right here. I mean, look at this. As you can probably tell, I've reached the top of the food chain over here, and I feel like it's time to move on. I mean, I can make a ton of ultimate hybrid solars, a ton more of those, a ton more of matter fabricators. I can scale basically infinitely, but there's no challenge anymore to the game. It's just, you know, meh, meh, meh. It just becomes meh. Alright? So let me give you a quick tour of the place. I have systems that sort crap, store crap, and process crap. Now, as you can see here, I have 1024 stacks of every common resource in the game, and anything that doesn't fit into these barrels just goes into these recyclers right here, where it's nicely processed into scrap, which goes into this ender chest, which then goes up here, straight into the matter fabricators. Well, not exactly straight, because it gets cached in these barrels, but you get the drill. It's pretty basic and straightforward. Now, the part that's not basic and straightforward is this. Alright, this mess of pipes, redstone engines, and whatnot. I sometimes get lost in it myself, you know. All these, you know, filters and stuff and whatnot. But it all starts right here. Now, this here chest is the chest for all stuff incoming, and you may notice it only has 9 slots, and that's because we're in FTB beta pack, which is for Minecraft 1.4.2. It had that kind of limitation, and it's kind of a bummer. And that's exactly why I have 4 electrical engines extracting stuff from this chest. Now, you will also notice they're kind of out of sync, and that's intentional. I'll try to explain this. This might be a little complicated. You may have to see this before you realize this, but it goes like this. Every electrical engine, when it does its thing, it will extract 42 items at a time. Now, if I have them all going in sync, they will attempt to extract 45 times 4 items from the first stack in the chest. Alright? And if you have, for example, a turtle pumping items into the chest real quick, by the way, turtles have 16 slots, so you have to extract stuff from the chest much faster than they pump it in, obviously. So if you have items flowing into the chest on the other end at a high rate, you cannot afford that. You cannot afford attempting to extract, what's that? 168, I think, items from the chest from the first stack. There's never 168 items. That's why I have them kind of out of sync. And so normally instead of trying to extract 168 items, they will do 4 times 42, and that gets rid of all of the items in the chest much, much faster. So here's tip number 1. Have your engines out of sync. Now, any serious excavation with turtles requires, in my opinion, a lot of enderpearls so you can make these chests, and you can actually make some storage for yourself. these extra dimensional barrels come in extremely handy if you're serious about the excavation. So, best if you can dedicate some time and get access to one of these things. And then you have basically two options. You can go into the end and make a proper Enderman farm, which is going to take a lot of time and effort. Or you can take the easy way out, like I did. I think I had nanny suit back in the time when I did this. I still think it's the easy way out. So basically go into there and slay as many Endermen as you can see on sight. Now, this eventually leads to something like this. Oh, come on. Why you no load, world? I think I need to give it a second. Actually, no, it's fine. So, what it eventually leads to, not this way, is some sort of excavation like this. So, let me show you on the minimap. These parts have been excavated. These are future excavations over here. So, as you can see, I have a bunch of world anchors right here. I create pointers on the map, so I don't forget to pick my world anchor when it's done and finished. Each of them keeps 9 chunks loaded, centered around the chunk that it's in. It will probably not work this way for the future versions of FTB because I hear they've changed it and it consumes 1 enderpearl for every 12 hours. It keeps a chunk. It keeps the chunks loaded, so it's not worth it anymore. However, you are supposed to have different chunk loaders there. For example, chicken chunk loader, which does not have that limitation, which is more cheaty tool to use. Now, like I said, I've placed my world anchors here. I'm going to equip some turtles and we'll go from there. Be right back. Now, I need to find the lower left border of the chunk that I'm standing in. So let's see here. 15, 15, 0, 15. I'm looking at the X and Z coordinates. So 0, 15 in this case should be the bottom left corner of the chunks. So I'm going to go until I level myself with the highest point in these 9 chunks that I'm about to excavate. Then I press my, I put my ender chest in here, grab my mining turtle, put it in here. Let's feed it some fuel. I think it might have some leftover fuel. So let's see, refuel all. It will consume all these cells. I prefer to have them charged at around 350,000. So that should do it, and then we can just tell them to excavate a 48 by 48 area, which is exactly these 9 chunks. Now you may notice that I have placed these world anchors a little higher than these turtles, obviously, because otherwise the turtle will just mine the world anchor and it will stop. It will unload the chunk and it will stop. So I can get at least 4 more turtles going over here, which I'm going to do right now. Now I'm facing into that direction. On the minimap I'm facing this direction, so I'm looking for the lower left corner of the chunk relative to me again, and it's going to be, the chunk coordinates will be 15, 15. So right here. Not high enough? Well, it's sand and the turtle will take good care of that. So if there's sand falling down, it will keep mining until it clears the path. So not to worry about that. Let me get that refueled. Was that an enderman flying? Oh, it needs more than that. Let's get that to 350,000. There we go. Excavate 48. 2 more to go. facing that direction, that would be 15-0, which I'm standing in right now. Excavate 48, and I need to get some more hydrogen cells. And when I'm facing that way, it's just 0-0. So let's get it started. Done. Now, it's very important to not only have the chunks loaded that your turtle is excavating, but also have the chunk loaded that your chests are in. Now, with my kind of setup, I'm going to have these 4 excavations going, while these 9 chunks that I'm in right now, centered around this world anchor, they will stay loaded, so the chests will still be there, and they will transfer all of the stuff to my base. And when those 4 excavations are done, I'm just going to excavate this one as well. So it goes kind of like this, kind of chessboard-like system. And eventually we will have a huge abyss like the one we've just witnessed. Now, why would someone want to feed the turtles with hydrogen cells? The answer is they stack easily. They come in stacks of 64. They provide a decent amount of energy per cell. And it's very easy for me to automate the production of these things. So why not? I guess I could use a magma crucible and convert netherrack and cobblestone into lava. And then I could use a liquid transposer to fill the cells with lava. And those cells would convey even more energy than these hydrogen cells right here. But with this kind of setup that I have here, I'm all centered around IC2 machines, really. So it just seemed more logical to me to use some centrifuges and process the excessive bauxite dust that I had. This is just a fraction of what it used to be right here. So I pretty much process bauxite, I get a ton of aluminum, and I get these hydrogen cells, which I use to excavate more bauxite, and along with that, a lot of different stuff. So it goes like this. There's 3 macerators right here, 3 induction furnaces, a couple of cicadas. Hold on. Cicadas? Alright. So this diamond pipe right here is needed to make sure the most precious ores will always end up in this hopper right here, because stuff tends to overflow sometimes. I made it, I overclocked these guys, so it's very rare for them to overflow, but if that happens, the most precious stuff is going to end up in this hopper, and there's a higher chance that it will be processed. Pretty much the same logic goes for these furnaces. As you can see, the most precious dusts that I need processed will end up in this hopper in the first place. Now, what else do we got here? A row of recyclers. You have seen already these 2 centrifuges extractors are used mainly for rubber. A singularity compressor, just one, that's sufficient. And a whole bunch of industrial centrifuges right here. Now these industrial centrifuges, I had a bunch of them here, and they used to be a pain in the arse to maintain. You know, extracting, putting in cells, extracting the stuff from those 4 slots, it just added some tedium to the game, so, well, I'm having some network lag issues. Well, regardless, I have this all nicely automated right here. I have an auto crafting bench that produces, come on, there we go. It produces empty cells, which go into this barrel right here, which are then distributed over between these centrifuges. The diamond pipes on top and the bottom of the centrifuges are needed to prevent them from overflowing, basically, and from dropping items on the ground. The idea here being that diamond pipes are smart, and if they cannot put an item into the container they're attached to, they will just pass it on. No? In the newer FTB version, I hear there's red power pipes or tubes, which are equally smart, so there's no need for that. But in this version, I just have to keep using these expensive diamond pipes. Now, the heart of this is obviously the sorting system, and most of the magic happens over here. So let's take a look. I have a couple of pipes going over there to the macerators and what's their face? Furnaces. So the stuff that needs to be macerated goes in here and in here. Leather does not need to be macerated, but there's another filter that takes care of that. Now, now the stuff that needs to go into the centrifuges ends up in this pipe. The stuff that needs to go into the compressor is right here. The stuff that needs to go into the extractor is right here. And all of this stuff is just for storage purposes. There's a different storage over there. Now there's still a couple of Buildcraft compatible machines that I use on a regular basis. So this right here, rolling machine produces mixed metal ingots for me, which are then compressed in the compressor to become advanced alloy, obviously. So this is just, a convenience item because it's been very tedious to do by hand. So at this point, I think I have enough. I have enough. So another thing that's been way more important and essential than the rolling machine is the forestry stuff right here. So I have an arboretum, God, I hope I pronounced that correctly, and a logger, which does not really have an interface. And what they're doing right now, they're planting and chopping down rubber trees. And the rubber logs that it produces go into the ender chest, obviously. Everything goes into ender chests. And, come on, fly guy. All right. And they end up in these extractors. And then rubber comes out. So it's not the most efficient setup. Oh, look at this. The stuff from the turtles is coming. It's flowing in. So, not the most efficient setup right here. Blech. But it's fully automated, and when you leave that running 24/7, it produces some decent results. I wouldn't get far without a decent supply of rubber, obviously. And if at any given moment of time I decide I don't want to receive rubber anymore, I want something else, I just flip the lever here. It stops the extraction of the rubber tree saplings from these barrels. And I flip another lever. It starts, for example, the extraction of oak tree saplings. And eventually, oak tree saplings will replace all of the rubber tree saplings in this rotation, should I say. And the whole system will start producing oak trees and apples. Apples are awesome. I have a bunch of these. Now, another thing that's important when you have 4 metal fabricators is that you need a constant scrap supply. You need to get a constant scrap production going. I've had it in the past, like multiple times. I ran out of scrap, and the energy that these little beauties produce in here, it just went to waste. So to avoid that in the future, here's my solution. There are 11 turtles and 11 cobble generators. So each turtle has a very simple and basic program. You can download that from Pastebin, I don't care. That just chops I meant to say digs the block in front of it in an endless loop, and it puts the stuff into nearby chest. So that's how it works, and I get around 7, I think, cobble blocks per second. So even if I don't have any turtles excavating stuff, I still have a scrap production going, and that keeps the matter fabs going. Now, got some mini factories right here, which will autocraft some of the, tedious stuff for me. Namely, electronic circuits was my #1 priority. They are not terribly efficient, but they are fully automated, and that's what's important for me. I forget what these things are called. I think they're called carbon mesh. Whatever. Self-explanatory, advanced circuits, also self-explanatory. Diamonds accepts some coal dust, flint, and obsidian. Have a compressor going down here, so put all that stuff in, receive diamond. Actually, it's not configured to receive diamond at this point because I needed some coal chunks for the ultimate hybrid solar production, these guys, so I made it skip the last step. And over here you can see why all these things are very inefficient. That's because they take a while to craft something, and that's mainly because I'm using redstone engines, which are crap. I should really replace them with electrical engines in the long run, so that would speed up things much more. Now, over here, another crafting machine. It will craft the overclocker upgrades. At the moment, you have to grab some water cells yourself. With the addition, or should I say the re-addition of red power into the newer FTB versions, I suppose I could automate that as well and replace those crappy redstone engines with electrical engines in the long run. And speaking of overclocker upgrades, there's some things to say about them as well. Now, these recyclers have 6 overclocker upgrades each. They also have an energy storage upgrade, and I'm feeding them medium voltage, so they have transformer upgrades. Otherwise, after a few overclocker upgrades, they would just run out of power and shut down, so the performance would be crap. Now, why not put like 24 overclocker upgrades in here? The reason why is the bottleneck here is the hoppers. The hoppers, they will only put in items at a constant rate, and that roughly equals the rate, the processing rate that you can get with 6 overclocker upgrades. So there's really no sense in wasting more than 6. So there's that. We also have some overclocker upgrades in here. The macerators, I keep them at 11,000 RPM. Maybe I could get more than that. Like I said, power is not a problem. We have some very good power over there. Oh, I also have slime production here. It's not fully automated, which is a pity because I like to automate things. But I always get some slimes going, as you can see here, and also here. Now, one of the reasons that Cicada, shut up, oh, come on. One of the reasons I'm wrapping up this gameplay is that I ran out of uranium, guys. And uranium is the only thing that I need, and that cannot be crafted with UU matter. As you can see, I'm not really suffering from any, from any lack of UU matter or the things it might provide. But I still need uranium for these ultimate hybrid solars, and the only way to get more uranium is to babysit my excavations. Well, I don't really have to babysit them because they're fairly automated. But still not fully automated. Not good, not good. Let's see how our turtles are going, and I think I'm going to wrap up this video. I've shown you most of this stuff. If you have any questions or comments, they're all more than welcome. I'd be happy to hear from you. I think so far what they did is they mostly... come on, it's not right here. Yes, they just barely started scratching the surface, but we already have some blocks going, and we're set for scrap. Hopefully some more uranium as well. Alright, well, thank you all very much for watching. I'll see you next time, which will hopefully be sooner than 3 months from now. Just saying. Bye bye.